Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity. Today's parable is one of the hardest and maybe the harshest to hear. And we all have our own interpretation of it. But we do not and cannot simply say this is good news for the poor and bad news for the rich, because it's not. We are invited to hear and reflect on the story in light of missed opportunity. The story, as we've heard it and read it, is full of contrasts and reversals. A rich man, a poor man. The poor man is named, the rich one isn't. The rich man dressed in purple linen. The poor man is dressed in sores and wounds. The rich feasts sumptuously. The poor longs to be satisfied with what falls from the table. The rich man has a proper burial. Lazarus is carried away by angels. By the end of the story, Lazarus is with Abraham, and the rich man is looking up, begging. Lazarus was hungry, harmless, and helpless. The rich man was harmless, without crime. He didn't mistreat anyone. He did not commit a crime, but he did nobody any good. So he missed the opportunity to love, missed to notice the opportunity to notice another or the other, missed the opportunity to help, the opportunity to make a positive difference in someone's life, missed the opportunity to be a blessing to someone who was hurting, missed the opportunity to see Jesus, missed the opportunity to live a life of value. And apparently the gulf between the rich and the poor, we may now call it in our day the economic divide of our world, is something that will not be righted in any other lifetime but this one that we live. And we are invited not to miss the opportunity to live life in its fullness. And the parable urges those who have to do justice now. There's no opportunity later. And as the saying goes, justice delayed is justice denied. By the end of the parable, the rich man is in a place of torment, yet still entrenched in his privileged attitude. He still wants Lazarus to do something for him, as if he's his servant. But maybe that's all that he knew, because he's so used to having other people doing things for him. He doesn't even speak directly to Lazarus, but entreats Abraham to send Lazarus to do his bidding. He who would not lend a hand to Lazarus, whose only solace was the dog's tongues, is now asking Lazarus to provide him with some relief for his pain. The rich man also begs Abraham to send a warning to his brothers, but Abraham replies that even if one were to rise from the dead, that would not be enough. Abraham's words suggest that stepping out of one's privilege is perhaps one of the most difficult journeys of transformation. Abraham also says, "There's a great gulf between you and us." The great teacher through the parables, Jesus makes Abraham, the parent of faith, be the role of judge here. Abraham sits with Lazarus, indicating the startling truth about who's faithful, who's not. We know from the parable that because of his lack of compassion and action, the rich man cannot cross over to the place of faith, nor does he have a place by the side of Abraham. He missed the opportunity to recognize how his own attitude had a great gulf fixed between himself and Lazarus, but also his own separation from the divine grace of God's goodness. The story is a sad illustration of the known reality of a little too late. Too late to call on Abraham, which should have been done years before. Too late to notice Lazarus, who was at his gate. Too late to think of his own brothers. Too late to talk about resurrection. Missed opportunities that tormented him in the flame of his own memory. Now he's begging, looking up, wanting a handout, desperate for a drop of water to ease his fiery pain. Poor man. We ask ourselves, what opportunities have we missed in plain sight until it's too late? We the living, we the siblings, the 5 siblings in the story, we are reminded and we are warned in this parable so that we will not be in a place of torment. Let us wake up to the opportunities around us. We do not need to pray for more miracles. We just need to be more aware, sensitive, grateful, and work with the opportunity that God brings our way. We already have enough of what it takes to be a blessing in someone's life even today. We don't wait for someone to be a blessing. You be a blessing. Yesterday I drove past a church notice board which read, "In a country where you can do everything, where you can do anything, be kind." That spoke to me clearly and loudly. Let's not miss the opportunity to be kind. Let's not miss the opportunity to see and be with Jesus just where we are each day. Amen.